Today in linear algebra, we will study vector space over an arbitrary field. Before I give the formal definition of vector space, I first need to know the concept of a field of numbers. A field is a set F of numbers with the property that if AB belongs to F, then A plus B belongs to F, A minus B belongs to F, AB belongs to F, and A upon B belongs to F provided B is not equal to 0. But here, remember that not all sets are field. For example, 3 and 5 are in N, but 3 minus 5 is not in N. N is the set of natural number. The sum of two natural numbers is always a natural number, but difference of two natural numbers may not be a natural number. Similarly, in the set of integers, if we divide any integer by another integer, then the resulting number may not be a integer. So 3 upon 5 is not an integer. So therefore, this shows that the set of natural numbers and the set of integers are not field of numbers. So now we come to formal definition of a vector space. It consists of a set V, a field F, and two binary operations of vector addition and scalar multiplication such that for all AB belonging to F and VW belonging to V, the following axioms are satisfied. Here I want to mention one thing. Elements of V are called vectors and elements of F are called scalars. So first property of vector space is that V is an abelian additive group of vectors. That is, for all V and W belonging to V, closure axiom is satisfied, means V plus W belongs to G. Associative axiom is satisfied, V plus W plus U is equal to V plus W plus U. Here U is an element of V. There is a vector 0 belonging to V such that V plus 0 is equal to 0 plus V equal to V for all V belonging to V. Means there exists a identity element in the set V. Also for every V belonging to G, there is exactly one W belonging to G such that V plus W is equal to W plus V is equal to 0. W is called the inverse of V and we write W is equal to minus V. So V is a group with respect to addition for all the vectors U, V, W belonging to V. So one more property, V plus W is equal to W plus V. If this is also satisfied in addition to above, then it becomes a abelian additive group. So first of all, for any set to be a vector space, it should be abelian additive group of vectors. Second property is V is closed under scalar multiplication. Means if A belongs to F and V belongs to V, then AB should be in the set V. This multiplication is called a scalar multiplication because I have told you that the elements of F are called scalars and elements of V are called vectors, and we are multiplying a vector by a scalar. So this is called scalar multiplication. So this was the second property. The third is following laws of scalar multiplications are satisfied. That is, A into V plus W is equal to AB plus AW, A plus B into V is equal to AB plus PV, and A into BV is equal to AB into V. In addition to these, one more property, 1 into V is equal to V, where 1 is the unit element of 1 and 1 is a multiplicative identity for the set V. Here I want to remind one more thing, that field is a commutative ring with unity having at least two elements if each of its non-zero element possesses a multiplicative inverse. And ring is a abelian group with respect to addition, semi-group with respect to multiplication, and multiplication in ring is left as well as right distributive over addition. If F is the field R of the set of real number, then V is called real vector space. If the field is C of complex number, then V is called complex vector space. If the field is Q of the set of rational numbers, then Q is called rational vector space. And the space 0 consisting of only single element is called the null space or zero space. R over R denote the set of real numbers. C over R, C is the set of complex number, and C over C are all vector spaces with respect to usual addition and multiplication. But R over C is not a vector space because R is not closed under scalar multiplication. Because for any set to be a vector space, all the properties should be satisfied. But R is not closed under scalar multiplication in the field of complex number. For example, if we consider A belonging to R and alpha belonging to C, then A alpha does not belong to R. For example, if we take A equal to 3 and alpha equal to 5 plus 3 iota, then A alpha is equal to 3 into 5 plus 3 iota, which is equal to 15 plus 9 iota. But 15 plus 9 iota is not a real number, it is a complex number. Therefore, the set of real numbers over the set of complex numbers does not form a vector space. Now, example of vector space of finite sequences of real numbers. Let V consist of objects of the form U equal to U1, U2, Un, in which U1, U2, Un is an infinite sequence of real numbers. We define two infinite sequences to be equal if their corresponding components are equal. Like if we write U equal to U1, U2, Un and V equal to V1, V2, Vn, we will say U is equal to V if U1 is equal to V1, U2 is equal to V2 and Un is equal to Vn. We define addition and scalar multiplication component wise, like U plus V is equal to U1 plus V1, U2 plus V2, Un plus Vn and so on. Similarly, scalar multiplication K into U is K into U1, K into U2, K into U1. We multiply each element by K. So, I left it as an exercise to confirm that V with these operation is a vector space. Hope everyone can do this and satisfy all the axioms of a vector space. This vector space arises when transmitted signal of indefinite duration is digitized by sampling its values at discrete time intervals. Now some properties of a vector space. In a vector space, zero vector is always unique. If x, y, z belongs to vectors v and alpha is any scalar, then x plus y is equal to x plus z implies that y equal to z. It means left cancellation law holds. We can cancel x from both sides. Next is 0 into x is equal to 0, alpha into 0 is equal to 0, minus 1 into x is minus x, alpha into x equal to 0 implies alpha equal to 0 or x equal to 0. Now we will prove these properties. First property is that 0 is unique. Let 0 is not unique and let theta 1 and theta 2 be two zero vectors in V. Therefore, we can write theta 2 equal to theta 2 plus theta 1. Here these are zero vectors. So I can write theta 2 equal to theta 2 plus theta 1. And this is equal to theta 1 plus theta 2 because we know that V is also a abelian group. So commutativity is satisfied. Theta 1 plus theta 2 is equal to theta 1 because these are zero vectors. So we see that zero vector is always unique. There cannot be more than one zero vectors. So next property was, if x plus y equal to x plus z, then y is equal to z. If x plus y equal to x plus z, if we add minus x to both sides, then it will be minus x plus y is equal to minus x plus z. But we know that minus x plus x is 0. So this is 0 plus y. Here minus x plus x is again 0. So 0 vector. So this is 0 plus z. By above property, this implies 0 plus y is y and 0 plus z is z. So we have proved y is equal to z. So if x plus y is equal to x plus z, then we get y is equal to z, or we can say cancellation law holds in the set of in vector space. So next we will show 0 into x is 0 and alpha into 0 is 0. 0 into x plus 0 is equal to 0 into x. We can write it because 0 is the 0 vector. 0 can be written as 0 plus 0 into x. By left distributive law, 0 plus 0 into x is 0 into x plus 0 into x. And this is equal to, above it was 0 into x plus 0. This is 0 into x plus 0. By left cancellation law of vector space, this is 0 is equal to 0 dot x, or 0 into x is equal to 0. Similarly, now we will prove alpha into 0 is equal to 0. Alpha into 0 plus 0 can be written as alpha into 0. And we can write it as alpha into 0 plus 0. And again, by distributive law, alpha into 0 plus alpha into 0. And by left cancellation law, we can cancel alpha into 0 from here and alpha into 0 from here. So this will be 0 into alpha into 0, or alpha into 0 is equal to 0. Now we will prove that minus 1 into x is equal to minus x. So x plus minus 1 into x is equal to 1 into x plus minus 1 into x. So by this using distributive law, we can write it as 1 plus minus 1 into x. Plus 1 plus minus 1 into x is equal to 0 into x is equal to 0. This implies minus 1 into x is equal to minus x. Next we will show that if alpha x is equal to 0, then either alpha is 0 or x is 0. We suppose that alpha into x is 0, but alpha is not equal to 0. If alpha is not equal to 0, we know that f also satisfies the properties of a group. It means inverse of each element of f exists. Because alpha is non-zero, therefore alpha inverse exists. So we can write x equal to 1 into x, or 1 into x, 1 can be written as alpha inverse into alpha because 1 is the multiplicative identity in the field. And by associativity, we can write it as alpha inverse equal to into alpha into x. But alpha into x is given to be 0. So alpha inverse into 0. And alpha inverse into 0 is 0. So this theorem shows that we may work with vectors the same way as we work with numbers. However, we cannot multiply two vectors since no such operation is available in a vector space. Always remember this, that we cannot multiply two vectors. This is the reason we have used alpha inverse in the proof of theorem 1 in 2e. Instead of x inverse, instead of using x inverse, we have used alpha inverse. In fact, there is no such vector x inverse. See, here we have used alpha inverse. We are not using x inverse because x is the element of vector space, alpha is the element of field. Field is, in field, multiplicative inverse exists, but not in vector space. In vector space, we have taken it to be a additive abelian group, and multiplication is not defined in the for vectors. Vector spaces are well characterized by their dimension, roughly speaking, which specifies the number of independent directions in the space. Now some historical background. The first idea leading to vector space can be traced back as the 17th century analytic geometry, matrices, system of linear equations and Euclidean vectors. The modern and more abstract treatment, first formulated by Peano in 1888, encompasses more general objects than Euclidean space, but much more of the theory can be seen as an extension of classical geometric ideas like lines, planes, and their higher dimensional analogues. Applications. Today, vector spaces are applied in mathematics, science, and engineering. They are the appropriate linear algebraic notion to deal with system of linear equations. They offer a framework for Fourier expansion, which is employed in image compression routines, and provide an environment that can be used for solution techniques for partial differential equations. Vector space furnish an abstract coordinate-free way of dealing with geometrical and physical objects such as tensors. This in turn allows the examination of local properties of manifolds by linearization technique. Thank you.